Hello, hello, hello from Greece. In this video, I'm going to share with you how embodying your feminine energy will completely transform every area of your life, 6 areas especially. And before I get into the training, I just want to preface that I am looking out over a beautiful view of my window. And you may hear some background noise, some birds, some people on the streets, maybe even some piano. There's a little piano bar down the road. So let that be a part of this experience, okay? Now, I spent most of my life completely disconnected from my feminine energy. I didn't even know that this was a thing that you could embody and embrace and experience more of, and that it has the power to transform every area. And then I found it and I was like, what is this magic? I have been teaching and nerding out over manifestation for over 6 years now. It's been, I think, 6.5 years, which is crazy. It's been over half a decade. And this is the magic sauce. If you logically understand manifestation, if you know how to work hard and create and get the thing done, and you're like, where's that magic? Where's that like quantum collapse of time? Where's that like feeling of, oh my gosh, life is so good, so juicy, so magical every day. I'm enjoying the journey. It's this. Okay, so I'm gonna deep dive into a couple different areas for you. And I wanna preface this with saying, before coming here to create this video for you, I had a lot of imposter syndrome, meaning I was feeling, and I don't feel this very often, but I was feeling this deep feeling of, who am I to teach on feminine energy? Because when I look out into the world of other feminine energy teachers, women who I learn from, women who I look up to, women who I see a future version of myself more embodied in the way that they relate to their womanhood, I'm like, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface. But you know what? Realizing that I haven't even scratched the surface, or I've only scratched the surface, is exactly why it's so important for me to share and teach about this. Because compared to many women who have been in this world for like 10, 20, 30 years, in the feminine energy world for that long, I've just like dipped a toe in, but just the toe dip has fucking transformed everything. So let me be evidence for you that you don't need to be a master at embodying your feminine energy. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to attend all the retreats and every single course and read all the books and do all the things before you start experiencing the magic of your feminine energy yourself. When I first, I'm getting so excited. When I first started this work, it was 2020, the summer of 2020. And I was in the world of manifestation. I had manifested what many people would consider financial success. I had a full client roster. And I thought that that would fill me. And I realized after about a week or two of having that manifestation completed, that the hole inside of me that I thought would be filled by money and clients and success was not filled. And I got very lonely and sad And at that time, I spent most of my time working, thinking about work. It was hard for me to relax. I didn't know what it meant to surrender. I didn't know about this world. And of course, as I'm tapping into, okay, universe, this is cool, and I want to experience more magic, more love for life, more pleasure, more joy, more love in general. The universe guided me to a feminine energy teacher. I was on social media one night and I saw this woman, and she was like in her bra and underwear and like dancing and like seducing the camera. And I was so triggered. I was like crawling in my skin. I was like, ew, who is she? What is she doing? But this other part of me who has learned about my triggers, and I know my triggers are my greatest teacher, I was like, there's something here for me. And within 24 hours, I applied for her 6-month mastermind, and I committed to what would that be? It was a multiple 4-figure investment every month for 6 months. And within days of working with her, and it's not about the woman necessarily, although she was giving off an energy transmission, it was about the embodiment and what she was teaching me, how to relate to life and to my body and to womanhood and to everything. Within days, magic started to flow in my life. So I want to go through a couple different areas, 6, of how this has transformed my life and how it will transform yours as well. Since then, in 2021, I started teaching more and more on feminine energy, and this work has really transformed so many of my clients' lives too. They're like pinging through my mind. So this will really speak to you if you're someone who gets caught up in your mind, overthinking, always feeling like you need to do more, always feeling like you need to improve yourself more, feeling like you can't fully surrender and relax, feeling like you don't deeply trust that there's something greater holding you and guiding you and supporting you in all areas of life. If you don't feel sexy in your body, you don't feel magnetic, you don't feel like you can go out, if you're single, and magnetize an incredible lover or partner to you, or if you're in a relationship, you don't feel like you have that polarity to ignite a spark and to have that passion in your life. And these are just a few things. So if that calls to you, then stick with me here. And I'm gonna go deep and also speedy, so we'll see. I've got my handy dandy notebook with me. So the difference between your masculine and your feminine energy, in the most simple form, is every single human being has both masculine and feminine energies, also known as yang for masculine or yin for feminine, also known as Shiva Shakti. These are all different terms that represent the same things. Every human being has either a more masculine dominant energy or a more feminine dominant energy. And most women in modern society are walking through life wanting and craving in their soul to have a dominant feminine energy in their system. So maybe that's 80% feminine energy, 20% masculine. Yet society is teaching and programming women to be 80 to 100% in their masculine energy, repressing and not even getting to know and embody their feminine energy. And this happens with men as well. The most happy, peaceful, magnetic, and financially successful men that I know, all wrapped up into one. They have it all. They have the money, the success, and deep peace, time, freedom, and joy. Men, these men spend, I would say, 80% of the time in work in their feminine energy, because the feminine energy is the energy that magnetizes and receives and intuits. So it uses your intuition to make decisions. So there's also been a repression of men embodying their feminine energy. And when men begin to embody their feminine energy, they open up to their emotions, and that's a different dance, because although it's helpful for men to step into their feminine energy at certain times, if they're more of a masculine dominant person, they're going to want to be in that healthy masculine energy a lot of the time as well. So I'm not going to teach on that. I'll leave that to the experts in that area for men. For women, for you, or for people who feel like they're meant to be feminine energy dominant, meaning mostly in your feminine energy, then what that energy looks like. So the masculine is the container, and the feminine is the movement of energy. Okay? So how this looks in life is the masculine in my life is the container of my life. What I'm available for, my belief systems, what I'm choosing to experience and have the universe bring into my life. Who I know myself to be. That's the container. It's like if you're building a house and you're writing the blueprint for the house, and you say, okay, I want 4 walls, a sturdy ceiling, I want a room that's pink, I want it to be cozy and luxurious and clean and safe. You're listing out all of the requirements for the house. You're creating that blueprint. That's the container. And then the feminine energy comes and it fills the space with emotion, with memories, with presence, with joy, with movement, with pleasure. Pleasure. It's the texture. So for me, that container, that blueprint of my life and who I choose to be is my masculine energy. And I have gotten really good at that. And you may have too, if you're into mindset work, if you're into learning about the quantum field, and you've gotten really good at like learning and studying, and you know it in your mind, but there's something missing, and it's the embodiment of the feminine. And for the feminine, how that looks in my life is because I have that clear container of what I'm available for, who I know myself to be, who I get to be, who I'm choosing to become, I have the path. And then my feminine, 80% or more of the time, gets to flow. It's like the path are the riverbanks, and my feminine energy is flowing down the river. So this means I'm deeply tapped into my body, my intuition, my inner voice guiding me on the next best step. I'm feeling the wisdom of my body and my emotions. Did you know that your body carries more wisdom than your thinking mind? So anytime I have a problem or a challenge and I notice myself caught in thought, I stop myself. Because when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And my mind will not solve the problem, but guess what will? Tapping into my intuition, tapping into feeling. We're never actually stuck. If we're stuck in a problem, it's because you're choosing the same vibrational frequency over and over again. So tapping into the body, feeling the vibration I'm choosing over and over again, and shifting it, alchemizing it. As your feminine energy alchemizes energy, which means it converts energy from, okay, I'm in this vibration of feeling stuck, into I'm moving through that, I'm releasing it from my body, and I'm turning it into feeling free, feeling unstuck, whatever that may look like, whether it's unstuck around love, meaning now I'm choosing to feel in my body and vibrate out into the world love. abundance, joy, pleasure. That is a gift of your feminine energy. And when you get really good at that alchemy and vibrating through your body, through your breath, through your cells, through your aura, what you choose to receive in this world, life becomes really fun. It becomes this dance and this game where it's like, I'm never stuck. I know myself. I know how to shift my energy and frequency, and I'm going to flow with life. I'm going to see what life presents me, and I'm going to say yes or no. If I say yes, I go down that path. If I say no, I choose a new frequency. I embody it, I feel through, and I move forward. So your feminine energy is the part of you that creates. As a woman, you have a womb. And I'm still getting to know my womb. But if you think about it, your womb creates life. Like, it literally creates life. Can we just take a moment and really process that? Your womb. I'm just like imagining it now. Your womb grows a fetus. And without you doing anything, you don't need to chat GBT, how do I grow a fetus? It grows the heart, the lungs, all of the systems, the little teeny tiny fingernails that are so cute, the hair, the eyes, all on its own. Like, really, really let yourself be in awe of the magic that your womb has to create another human being inside of you without you doing anything but taking care of your body. Well, and getting impregnated, of course. But you don't need to work hard to create that. You don't need to figure it out in your mind. The field knows, your system knows, your human, all of you knows, and it just creates. And you have the power, if you're not creating human life, you have the power to use your womb and that intelligence that lies within you to create anything you want in life. So you are the creator in your feminine energy. And beyond that, you're the receiver. We do not receive in our masculine energy. A lot of people get caught up in doing. I want to create more, okay, I need to do more. And you could go your whole life. Many people do. They go 60 years of doing more until they retire. And then they're like, okay, now it's my time to receive and enjoy this life. And wherever you go, there you are. So most people who work those 60 years and then retire and choose to enjoy life find that they stay in that cycle of busy, not fully receiving. If you look at your human anatomy as a woman, you were designed to receive. You were designed to be filled, and not just by cock, although that's really nice and fun. Hopefully, it should be. If you're being filled by that, it gets to be. But by life itself. And I have discovered something that feels like a secret. It's not a secret, but to me it feels like a secret because I don't know many people who experience this. And it's how to be filled by the universe. When we look at the world and the universe on a quantum level, it's all energy. And that energetic frequency is love and abundance. It's infinite energy. That's pure peace. It's everything's interconnected. There's no separation. There's no duality. We live on this non-dual plane, and I know I'm saying a lot of words that may not be fully resonating. If it is, amazing. If not, no worries, stick with me. There is an ocean of invisible energy all around you at all times. And you have the power to be filled by that. So the secret that I'm talking about, that I want to shout from the rooftops and help every woman experience, is how to be filled by love, peace, joy, and abundance, and pleasure at all times. Although I am living my dream life and I'm obsessed with my life, I get to travel the world full time, I love my work, I have the most incredible friends, I experience a lot of challenges. There's an energetic flip side to an incredible life, and it comes with discomfort. Sometimes there's loneliness. Like right now, I'm alone for 3 or 4 days. Well, I'm meeting people in the world, but I don't have my close people with me right now. I move through relationship and love challenges, things in business. I'm not immune to that, but what I am intolerant to is dwelling in a frequency of feeling stuck. I feel my feelings, and then I invite the universe to fill me. And I've gotten so good at it that what used to take me 3 years to move through now can take me 1 hour. So the feminine energy is the one who feels and alchemizes, the one who creates, and the one who receives. Are you starting to glimpse how freaking magical it is? Now, if you've never experienced this before, or you're like, I kind of maybe have experienced it, I'm not sure. No worries. I'm gonna tell you how to feel it more in your body and embody this feminine energy at the end of this video, and I'm gonna give you a free practice to start experiencing it today. On the other hand, you may be already like so in your feminine energy that you need that masculine structure, and then you're golden. So, or you may be somewhere in the middle. So just trusting where you are and not judging yourself for it. We're all on our own unique paths, okay? And you get to choose the medicine that's best for you. So, how can this and will this transform your life? In the 6 different ways. I've been touching on them, but let me move through them in order. The first is your mental health. Tapping into my feminine energy and allowing and inviting and learning how to be filled by the infinite love and peace has allowed me to completely eliminate stress and anxiety from my life and body about, I'd say 98%. Maybe there's 2% of the time where I experience stress and anxiety, and I can alchemize it like that. That is the biggest game changer in and of itself, because I spent most of my life in extreme anxiety, extreme social anxiety, extreme fear, extreme stress. I didn't know life without it. I thought it was just a part of life. You needed to be stressed out or you weren't doing anything with your life. Anxiety was just a normal thing, and that I would have to numb when I'd go out and be social. It doesn't need to be a part of your life. How crazy is that? Stress and anxiety actually isn't normal. It's common, but it's not a normal part of your humanity. We aren't designed to be living in stress and anxiety 70% of the time to 100% of the time. We're designed, our most natural state is harmony, and your body's always trying to find harmony. Stress and anxiety are there for like those life-saving moments, and then you come back. It's like when a lion is stressed and it roars, or it does its thing. Any animal in the wild, actually, they shake it off and then they go back to their deep relaxation. So what if you were allowing yourself to dream right now, and you put in that dream a stress and anxiety-free life? Whoa. And I've worked with so many clients for so many years, and the number one feedback that I get, and it's actually my most favorite feedback, is, Alicia, I came to work with you to manifest X, Y, or Z, and that manifested, but my favorite thing that I couldn't even expect is how much peace I feel, how I've learned to alchemize and release and shift my anxiety, how to trust in something greater. It's the best. The second area of your life that it will transform, embodying your feminine energy will transform, is your body. Physically and how you feel in it. I used to have really intense body image issues, really intense eating disorder for like over half a decade. Like obsessed with food, obsessed with my body, thinking I needed to look a certain way in order to be good enough and to have the life I want. And a lot of things supported me in healing that. And embodying my feminine energy was an essential key, because when you're in your mind, which is not your feminine energy, thinking is not your feminine energy. It's like scanning. It's either masculine or just not a healthy version of either, and it's just a survival response, scanning the environment to feel safe. When you're in your mind, you're judging others, you feel separate from others, and when you judge others, you judge yourself. So you're judging yourself, you're judging others, and it's this cycle. When you come into your body, you get to know yourself. You feel your heart, you feel your womb, you feel your energy centers being filled by something greater, which actually is you at the end of the day. You give way less fucks about how your body looks, and you begin to take care of your body, honoring it as the vessel that holds this like incredible feeling inside of you. And you begin to notice, oh, interesting. When I move my body, I feel more pleasure in my body. Great, then I'm gonna move my body. It's not to look a certain way, it's to feel good from the inside out. Oh, when I eat this nourishing food really mindfully and like really calmly, and it digests well, and I'm just having so much pleasure with it. Oh wow, I feel really amazing. I feel even more joy and more peace and more pleasure in my body. So I'm gonna keep eating that way. The main reason that people overeat, are obsessed with their body, find it hard to lose weight, it's all emotional. It's fear of feeling, not knowing how to feel, and it's a survival response of the body just doing the best that it can with the tools that it has. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel intense anxiety. I need to eat to numb it out. I need to try and fix my body to correct this feeling of not enoughness within me. And that will never, ever, ever go away until you heal the root cause. Because wherever you go, there you are. So if you change your body and you wanted, let's say, a bigger ass, and you get a bigger ass, then you're gonna want something else. You're always gonna be fixing yourself. This is where you see people who get a ton of plastic surgery, and then they're like, oh my God, what was I doing? I wish I could take it all back. Like it was never enough. So if that's you and you're feeling an insecurity in your body, you're wanting to look a certain way, I feel you, I hear you. It's multi-billion dollar industries out there bombarding us with the belief that we need to look a certain way in order to be good enough and be loved and be liked. And let me tell you, I have met the most beautiful people where you'd be like, oh my God, she's the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen. And she's not magnetic and she's not happy. And then I've met women who wouldn't be the model stereotype, most beautiful woman in the world, and their aura is so magnetic because they radiate pleasure and confidence and joy and love from the inside out. And I know it may be hard to believe me if you're really in it there. So if this is speaking to you, take a leap of faith. And what really got me to begin changing this is I just realized, all right, Alicia, you have been obsessed with the way you look and changing your body for so many years. I'm over it. I just got over it. I'm like, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life obsessed with this. And step after step after step, oh my gosh, now it's just complete freedom and play when it comes to how I look. And I know who I am on the inside, and I love who I am on the inside, and I radiate that. And that is my magnetism. That is what attracts people to me. That's how I know people, that's how people love me, is for who I am. And everything else is just like fun play, getting dressed up, wearing makeup. I do it here and there. I'm now that I'm in Europe, I'm like super into it. But I just spent 9 months in Costa Rica where I wore no makeup. I was barefoot most of the time. I would go on dates like with my hair frizzy and I was so confident. And I'm really proud of myself because there was a time when that would have been the last thing I would ever do. And let that be evidence that if I can experience that, you can experience that too. Okay? I'm gonna add to this because it relates to your body, is healing addictions. People try and fill, there's a hole, without going into too many details, there's a hole that can be created in your second and third chakras. And when they're not filled with unconditional deep love from yourself, the divine, and another human or humans, it doesn't need to be a romantic partner. It can be a coach, a mentor. I do a lot of this work with my one-on-one and group clients. And for myself, I receive this from my friends, from my mentors and healers, from my community that I'm a part of, in this energy healing program I'm in. When that's not being filled with unconditional love, we're gonna try and fill that hole with addictions, with addiction to food, sex, smoking, drinking, drugs, going on social media, getting validation online, you name it. So this work also can heal addictions. It's so powerful and profound. You can really step into a woman that you're proud of when you're feeling good from the inside out. The third area of your life that embodying your feminine energy will transform is your love life. Before I got into this work, I went 2.5 years without, with barely dating and without having sex. And when I would go out on dates, there was no chemistry. I was like, what is this? I didn't get it. I didn't understand why I was attracting men who just were not a match for me. And the dates would be boring and they'd want to talk about work. And I'm like, what is this? And then I started embodying my feminine energy. and learning about polarity. And I was like, oh my goodness. I've been magnetizing men from my masculine energy. And as I embodied my feminine energy, let's just say dating and my love life have been so fun. They have been an adventure, the adventure of a lifetime. And although I haven't met the man that I want to spend quote unquote forever with, embodying my feminine energy has supported me in dating so much because I attract incredible men, because I love myself so deeply and I feel so deeply that I'm attracting men who love me deeply in their own unique way. Some of the loverships have turned into deep friendships. And I've never been able to have deep male friendships until I embodied my feminine energy and realized like what's mine to fill within me rather than looking outside of myself for male validation all the time. Also, when partnerships or relationships or situationships have ended, and when they end, I heal from it so much faster, because what I would do in the past is I would feel anxiously attached and I would think about them so much and I'd like repeat things in my head and I would yearn for them even if they didn't treat me well. One man really didn't treat me well and it took me years to get over him. This was before I moved into this work. And once I embodied my feminine energy, oh my gosh, I just realized like what I'm looking for in men, God, the universe, source, can fill me at any time. Oh, it's so good. It feels so good to not need male validation to feel good about myself and to not get hooked into a guy, especially when the guy is not good for me. Oh my gosh. I mean, we could have a chit chat about this all day long and I could tell you some really cool stories, but I'm going to keep it to that. It will absolutely improve your love life, whether you're single or in a relationship. The fourth area builds on this, especially for those in a relationship, which is it improves sex, polarity, and pleasure. So most women do not deeply enjoy sex. Most women have never held up a mirror to their vagina. Most women have never stuck their fingers inside of their vagina and felt what it feels like. Most women have not given themselves a breast massage, have not made amazing love to themselves. I know for myself, I didn't even know I could orgasm until I was 21 and it happened in a dream. I thought I couldn't. And I can. Can I get a hallelujah? And for me, and every body is different, but for me, after that really toxic relationship that I mentioned that it took me years to get over, I couldn't have anything inside of me without feeling excruciating pain. I never knew sex was meant to be pleasurable. A lot of trauma got built up within me, like within my physical anatomy, that needed to be massaged out. So in my feminine energy magic course, I teach my yoni egg magic practice, where we literally use a crystal egg to massage out the trauma stored inside. And this changed my life because it allowed me to start feeling pleasure in my body. And then I began to realize that feeling turned on doesn't always have to relate to a man. In fact, it is extremely healthy to feel turned on to life, like at all times. And most people link feeling turned on to sex and to like, I need to get rid of this feeling. But actually, as a woman, your sexual energy is your life force energy. It's sexual life force energy. It's chi. And you get to circulate it throughout your body. You get to walk through life turned on to life itself. And then when it comes to relating with another person sexually, that's your decision, of course, but to me, it's deeply sacred. And it's for the people who truly earned it and deserve it. And guess what? When you make such amazing love to yourself, you're not gonna want just some rando, because there's no way they're gonna do it better than you if you don't have a deep heart connection. Gosh, I could go on and on about this for so long. And I'm tuning into how much more I want to share here. I dive way, way, way deeper into this inside of my Feminine Energy Magic course and inside of my Magnetic Feminine Aura mini course / masterclass. It's a 5-part masterclass. It's like a mini course. I have an entire 60 plus minute training around the yoni egg magic and what it does, and I'm logically teaching on it. I'm not giving you the actual practices inside of Magnetic Feminine Aura. But in that class, I dive way deeper into like sexual energy and life force energy. So we'll leave it there if you want to join that. And then for the actual yoni egg practice and like way deeper diving, there's my Feminine Energy Magic course, which I teach once a year. And it's so magical. Okay, so the next section is friendships. Embodying your feminine energy will transform your friendships. I didn't have close heart, like connected sisters and friends until embodying my feminine energy. I didn't even know what it felt like. And when a woman would be like soft and nurturing with me, a friend, which was very rare, I didn't attract it because I wasn't giving it to myself. But when it would happen, I'd be like, what is this? Like, it was so out of this world for me to be around nurturing women. I had pretty much, for the most part, been surrounded my entire life up until after grad school. So what was that, 23, 24 years old, with women who would gossip and bully and judge. But guess what? I attracted those women into my life because I was doing that. I was doing that to myself within my own mind, and I was doing it out loud with certain people. So then to start embodying my feminine energy, I began to attract these women who, oh my gosh, they're just like the best women in the world. I have the most incredible friends that I feel like they could be on the other side of the world, and I feel this deep heart love connection. They've got my back, I've got their back. We are sisters. We love each other so fully. I can call on them and cry to them, and they've got me. It is this solid love and friendship that I would have never been able to tap into and magnetize and experience and enjoy without embodying my feminine energy. And finally, we have money, business, and manifestation. So as I mentioned earlier, we receive in our feminine energy, we create in our feminine energy, and the magic sauce of like how we how we make things happen like that, how we really create a life that seems impossible to other people is in the feminine. Because when you set an intention of what you want to manifest and you say, okay, I'll use my business for example. When I started going into this work, it was so cool because I said, okay, if I can manifest anything, I'm going to manifest working 2 to 6 hours a week, traveling the world full time, making more money than I make, meaning I wanted to make between $10,000 and $15,000 a month. And when I set that intention, I had all these limiting beliefs come online. And I said, nope, I'm going to keep shifting into receiving. So if I wasn't doing my 2 to 6 hours of work a week, I'm like, okay, I guess I have to fill my time. I'm not just going to sit here and think about work. So I began to travel. And this all happened somehow within like a 3-month and a 3-week time span. It all happened really fast. I was like, okay, I guess I need to travel. I need to fill my time with like enjoying life. And I had a huge quantum leap in my business. From going from my last like high cash launch was $12,000, and it was nearly $50,000. It was like $49,888,000. And this was while traveling the world, working 2 to 6 hours a week. And the masculine container was like, this is what I'm available for, this is what I'm choosing. And these are the hours I'm working. That was it. The feminine was 80% of the time, it was alchemizing my energy into being the vibration of the woman who has that seemingly impossible business and lifestyle. It was choosing to lean back and receive and have faith and trust. That's all feminine energy. It's leaning back, receiving. Oh, it's so magical. And that's why I call my course Feminine Energy Magic, or Magnetic Feminine Aura, or Yoni Egg Magic. I love the words magic and magnetic clearly, but it really feels that way after living a life that felt so dull. And I remember I used to think, gosh, before I ever stepped one foot into the personal development world, I remember thinking, please, like there's no way that just working and going to school and drinking is my life forever. Like I thought that for years. I was like, there's no way this is it. And boy, oh boy, was I right. Okay, so now that we've covered the 6 sections, I want to share with you how you can embody your feminine energy. First, I'm going to take a sip of my agua. Does anyone else drink water out of a wine glass? I feel like it should be sparkling, but I don't have any sparkling right now. Okay. So, how do you embody your feminine energy? Well, it's not through thinking and it's not through speaking. So you listening to this, you may have received a bit of a feminine energy transmission, but I've also been talking quite fast and like with excitement. And the feminine energy is a bit slower, more receptive. And it's an embodiment. So that means you need to shift out of your mind and into your body. So how do we do this? There's a variety of ways. Breath, movement, sound, meditation, nidra. These are all practices. And you can find them online. You can also find them inside of magnetic feminine aura, which I would say if you feel a yes to working with me, that would be the first step to begin. It's the best entryway and the most affordable pricing, and the trainings in there, the classes in there are amazing. It's 4 of my absolute favorite feminine embodiment practices that I do all the time, where you're not learning with your mind, you're learning with your body, and you're developing tools to shift from that masculine thinking, doing, creating into receiving, feeling, being with. Okay? And when you want to go deeper, if you feel a yes to working with me and me guiding you through what's worked for me and other clients, then my Feminine Energy Magic course would be for you. And this is a learning. You learn what it feels like to be in your feminine energy. You learn when you need to, when you're going into like that push, stress, force energy, and when it's like, okay, it's time to do one of my practices and lean back and soften into my magnetic feminine energy. This will require your commitment and your discipline. There's no one video that's gonna completely shift it for you forever. But I will say, the moment you start experiencing the magic, you're gonna be hooked. I know I was. And I won't go a day without my practices because it makes me feel so good and it makes life so magical. It's actually a duty of mine to continue to shift into my feminine energy, especially in a world that is like constantly bombarding us with do more, be more, blah, 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 like push, push, push. There's a time and a place for that. There's a gift in that. And for me, so much more magic happens when I do that maybe 20% of the time, and 80% of the time I'm leaning back and letting God, the universe, divine, something greater, like fill me, fill my life, magnetize things to me. Just notice even like the way I'm speaking and like leaning into the camera versus leaning back and letting myself receive love, money, clients, guidance, abundance. I mean, after I film this video, I'm gonna go out, walk around town. Town is so beautiful, and I'm just gonna be guided. And that's the feminine energy, the intuition. It's really fun to play with when you travel. You get to explore who you do the practices with. Meaning, there's an energy transmission that's sent out in every meditation, in every breath work, in every single practice that you could find online. There's an energy transmission. And the more you embody your feminine energy, the more you'll be able to feel and sense and know truth and know other people's energies and know what is a hell yes to you. So begin to sense that. If you feel called to my energy and to receiving my energy transmission, amazing. You just naturally receive it when you're in the practices. But that's a little key and hint, and I am so unbelievably discerning on whose meditations I do, like, and whose practices and whose courses, because the energy transmission of the facilitator creates, and it literally invisibly transmits that energy into your field. So when I'm doing a meditation with one of my favorite guides, I receive that transmission into my field. When you do my practices, you receive that transmission into your field. And that's one of the beautiful parts of being a guide and coach and mentor and facilitator, in my opinion, is infusing everything I do and create into a really, really beautiful transmission. I hope this lesson, this talk and discussion has been extremely supportive for you. I would love to hear any of your takeaways if you want to message me on Instagram at alicia.soul. And the next step, if you want to work with me on a deeper level, you have Magnetic Feminine Aura, the master class to begin diving in. And there's Feminine Energy Magic, which is my deeper 8-week live course that I teach once a year. And if you join Magnetic Feminine Aura and you invest in it, you get to take the amount you paid to invest off of Feminine Energy Magic. If you're feeling called to Feminine Energy Magic, but you're not a full yes yet and you want to start with the masterclass, no worries. You'll get a discount code to take that off. And if you're saying, hell yes, I'm all in, I want to work with you on this deep level, let's do it, all the things, and you want me to guide you so that you can lead yourself through embodying these practices and tools that have the power to transform every area of your life, then you can join us in Feminine Energy Magic if the doors are open. Again, I teach this just once a year, and you get to begin the masterclass, a Magnetic Feminine Aura masterclass right away. It's a bonus inside of that course. Okay, so if you feel called to work with me on either of those levels, I am honored, I am excited, and regardless, if you're watching this video, that means you've stuck with it to the end. Woo! And my hope and prayer and intention is that something in this spoke to you and resonated with you, and you're feeling a hell yes to leaning in to embodying more of your feminine energy and letting life show you the magic that lies in store for you. I love you. Have a beautiful day.